I did acid one time and I just felt really high, I think. Well, actually no. I did, as I was getting acid and mushrooms mixed up. The first time I did acid, I've done it twice now that I think about it. The first time that I did acid produced a pretty funny story. I took it with my friend Rodney, and we were still in high school. And I dropped acid at his house, and we're sitting around in his bedroom, and I just felt kind of high, you know what I mean, at first with the acid. It just made me feel a little bit loopy, and I wasn't really getting a whole lot of visuals or anything. But as the night wore on, I started to get kind of freaked out by Rodney, because Rodney was having a much different trip than I was having. And at one point in the night, he started to look really scared, and he kept going over to his window and looking out the window. And then he'd go and sit down, and like he was pondering something, you know. And he'd sit down and sit there. And finally, I was like, dude, okay, what's going on? He's like, go look out the back window, dude. Go look out into my yard. And I looked out into the yards. You know, I pulled the blinds out, and I looked, and I said, what am I looking for here? He said, you don't see him? And he walks over and gets next to me. And I said, no, I don't see anything. And he said, the frogs, man. The frogs. And I said, the frogs? And he goes, yeah, man, they're fucking frogs all over my backyard. They're camouflaged, but you can see their eyes. And he went and sat back down, leaving me with this, you know, suggestion. And the more I stared at his backyard, the more I started to see little sets of eyes in the grass. And at one point, when I saw the number of them, it freaked me out so bad that I said, oh, fuck, you know. And he said, we got to do something. And we ended up in his backyard with various garden implements killing these frogs. He had a rake, and I had like a garden hoe. And we're killing, and we ended up tearing up his entire fucking backyard, like chunks out of his backyard. Not the best trip in the world, but it just goes to show you that when you're doing psychedelics, who you're with and the state of mind of the person that you're with, you can be very suggestible when you do psychedelic drugs.